everyone. I'm Major Kyra Cooper, Chief of Force Development at the Air Force Reserve Command, Robins Air Force Base, Georgia.
And I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dixie Duke of the Headquarters ARPC Force Development Team at Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado.
And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about Officer Force Development. You know, Colonel Duke, I've been hearing so much on the streets about the RSSB that's going on right now, the Reserve School Selection Board. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely, Kyra. The RSSB convenes twice per year during a winter and a summer cycle in February and July, respectively. Members who meet the established eligibility criteria and course-specific prerequisites are encouraged to apply through the VPC dashboard. Courses that are offered include the short, resident, seminar, and blended format opportunities for professional development and PME. Citizen airmen of all reserve categories and all AFSCs can apply for these opportunities. They can apply for one course, they can apply for every course for which they're eligible, and then there's new courses that are added or deleted occasionally.
Awesome, ma'am. So you're saying twice a year, I can apply? That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Any course I want, all reserve categories?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. But you know what exactly is included in the application?
Well, for the application, members are going to apply through VPC, and so for eligibility requirements, they need to make sure that they read this document called the Invitation to Apply. That's really the key to understanding the eligibility requirements, the course requirements. So that Invitation to Apply is put out for every board, and it's always going to be a new document because there's always going to be changes every time. So we really encourage the members to read that cover to cover every time so that they can successfully meet the board. The Invitation to Apply is released approximately 3 months prior to a school board when we open the application cycle. It's intended to capture 3 UTAs because we have our part-time force in mind, and then we're going to close out that application cycle about 30 days prior to the board so that we can pull everything for the database to be seen. Eligibility criteria includes being current and passing on your fitness test. It includes having a 5-year satisfactory participation history, and it includes some course-specific mandatory separation date requirements. In addition to that, there are some disqualifying factors. So if you do not have a current and passing fitness assessment, if you are currently on a UIF, or if you do not meet the prerequisites for the eligibility requirements for a course, then those are also disqualifying factors and why a member would not be seen by the board. Finally, a current policy exists is that although members can apply for multiple courses, if you are selected, then you will only be selected for one course at a time.
Awesome. Thanks for letting me know about the eligibility requirements because
Sure.
as you can see, I was ready to apply. So if you had to kind of snapshot on how to apply, what would you say, ma'am?
Well, applying, when you go to apply for any of our school boards, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into MyPERS and go to your VPC dashboard. Applicants are always going to submit a brand new application for every single school board, and that's different than what they may know of the Reserve Development Plan, which is a living, breathing document that they just go into the same one every time and update. For the school boards, it's different. It's got to be a brand new application every time because courses have changed, the dates have changed, eligibility criteria may have changed, but that invitation to apply, again, comes in very critical at this point because it's going to give you all that specific information. So as you're going through that application in VPC and you've got that invitation to apply, that's guiding you through the process so that you can successfully meet the board. Now, some of the points to remember about completing your RSSB application is that you've got to list your courses in order of preference, in a priority order. And the application itself will basically make you do that. So whatever you choose first will be the highest priority, and then you can switch those courses around based on what course you want the most. Okay? The next thing is applicants should really consider when they read that invitation to apply to share some of those critical pieces of information because their application is going to go through their rater and then their senior rater to complete the coordination. And the rater and senior rater need to really understand the kind of comments that we're looking for in their endorsements on those applications. That is really critical. The applicant needs to understand that invitation to apply, and then everybody else in the chain. For our IMAs, they're going to send their application to their RIO detachment so that they can do a quality check. Everybody else is going to send it through their CSS or their servicing MPS before it goes to the senior rater. Finally, really important point for the applications are those endorsement statements from the rater and senior rater talking about why this person is such a great candidate and what kind of return on investment they can really provide back to the Air Force Reserve by going to one of these courses. In addition to that, it's that member's development plan and their DT vectors that are really going to come in part of that crucial endorsement that communicates to the board why this person is the best pick for these courses that they're applying for.
Awesome, ma'am. So I've read the invitation to apply. I've looked at the eligibility requirements. I went to VPC, filled out the application. Now, what does the board see?
Now, what the board is going to see is they're essentially going to see a snapshot of the applicant's entire personnel record. So not only are they looking at that school board application and your justification on why you believe you're such a great applicant for the courses for which you're applying, they're also seeing the rater and the senior rater endorsements. They may even have you stratified in there. You know, if you have a pool of candidates who are all applying for the same course, the senior rater needs to really communicate to the board why they think you are the number one of 5 applicants for this specific course, like Squadron Officer School. The next thing that they're going to be looking at is they're going to look at a 5-year history of your OPRs. They're going to look at your decoration history, your duty history, your AFSCs. If you are recently selected by a promotion board and you have a projected date of rank in the system, that's going to become important because applicants can apply for courses for which they are projected to the next grade. And that's important because they have to pin on that new grade before they go to that class. The biggest key here is that applicants need to review their records. They need to get into virtual NPF, they need to get into Prada, they need to make sure all their records are there, because once we take that snapshot about 30 days prior to the board, there's no more changes to that information. So if they have an OPR that's in process, they've got to get that thing into their official records so that it can be seen by the board. We're also looking at past DT vectors and recommendations. We're looking at deployments. We're looking at everything: academic education, PME, your degree information, all that.
So just my life, Colonel Duke, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
My military life.
We're looking at your record. We're looking at the whole person concept so that the panel members sitting on that board can be absolutely sure that they are selecting the very best candidates for these courses.
Awesome. Well, ma'am, let me tell the group a little bit about what RSSB courses are actually offered.
Absolutely.
We have Officer Professional Development courses, which include IJOL, the International Junior Officer Leadership course, and also LTT, our Leadership Today and Tomorrow course. Some of our developmental education courses include Squadron Officer School, or SOS, Air Command and Staff College Seminar, or ACSC ARCS, Air War College Seminar, Air War College ARCS, the Marine Corps Command and Staff College, MCCSC, and the Canadian Forces Staff College Seminar. In addition, we also offer joint courses, and the joint courses include our famous RCNSC, the Reserve Component National Security course, also the NATO Senior Officer Policy course, the NATO Senior Reserve Officer course, the NATO Reserve Forces Integration course, the Canadian Forces Staff College, and the Military Reserve Exchange Program, in addition to the oh-so-popular Joint and Combined Warfighting School Hybrid. We also have an interesting program called CIOR, or our Inter-Allied Confederation of Reserve Officer courses. And those courses include the Military Competition, the Partnership for Peace, the Legal Committee, the Defense and Securities Issues, the CIOMR Medical, and that is only for medical officers only that hold those AFSCs, the CIOR-MR Medical Scientific. In addition, we have the Civil Military Cooperation, the CIOR Language Academy, and WIRO, our Young Reserve Officers Workshop.
So as you can see with some of these courses, there's already notes on which courses have some AFSC restrictions. So for example, the Legal Committee is going to be one of those courses in which we'll only send our JAG Officer Corps members to. In addition to that, we have some medical and scientific specific courses.
That's why, like you said earlier, ma'am, it's so important to read the invitation to apply so that
Absolutely.
You know what you're eligible for.
Absolutely. And so when we go through these applications, if we see that somebody has applied for a course for which they're not eligible, we will remove that course. And here's the key point for the members. when you're applying for RSSB courses, you really need to give yourself as much of a chance to be selected for a course as possible. We see a lot of people who only apply for one course at a time, and if they don't score high enough in order to get placed in that course, then they get nothing. Because otherwise, had they applied for more than one course, they may have gotten selected because they did score well enough. So I really want to encourage members to apply for as many courses as they're interested in and as many courses as they are eligible for.
Yes, ma'am. So one last time on how to apply for the RSSB, because I know you all want to.
Right. So how to apply, again, you're just going to log into MyPERS, you're going to go to VPC and go to the Action Request tab, scroll all the way down, look on the right side, and you'll see the link for the RSSB application. It's going to take you into that. It'll take you step by step, and the application itself is really easy to fill out. And so if you're using the invitation to apply and you're just going through that, looking at everything, and you follow step by step through the application itself is super simple to fill out. There's a couple of required fields that it won't even let you hit the submit button until those fields are filled out. You've got to have that justification in there. You've got to have your fitness assessment history attached in there in a PDF. And then any waivers that you may need to submit to the board with your application is also going to be spelled out in that invitation to apply.
Awesome, ma'am. Thank you. We have a couple of governing policies that we all want you to be aware of, and that's AFI 36-2254 Volume 2, also AFI 36-2301, and AFRCI 36-2640. Well, Colonel Duke, looks like that's all for us.
All right.
You all have a great day.